All right, these days, if you are not texting or tweeting, you may feel like you're living in a different world than the kids around you. Sound familiar? Well, have no fear. There is a way to stay in touch and in the game. Is This Thing On? Is a guide in introducing late bloomers, technophobes, and the digitally challenged to the wonders of using a computer. Author Abby Stokes is back with us today with her grandparents' technology cheat sheet. All right, but this is really for all of us, isn't it?
It's really for any. It's interesting. I think there's a digital divide in your home. It's not just nationally. So even though we have all these ways to stay in touch, we feel like we're actually not staying in touch. So this is really for anybody in the family.
When I talk to people, they seem to really have, I think, decided that Facebook and email is great, but they haven't yet gone to tweeting as much.
Exactly. I think tweeting and texting, is actually really handy for family members. When you want to just do a fast little message, I'm staying at school late, or here I am at the movie theater. Texting is a really handy way for people to keep in touch.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the points that you have for people.
Sure.
We'll start with your cheat sheet. The first one is Skype for video calling. All right, this is great for people who really live afar from each other so they can keep in contact.
It's fantastic. I was actually in Berlin this summer when my mother broke her wrist, and I didn't believe she was okay until I saw her, and so my sister set up the camera on the computer so that I could be in Berlin, my mom was in Connecticut, and we could see each other for 45 minutes for free. We were able to talk to each other.
All right, some computers already have the camera, but otherwise you have to buy the camera.
Otherwise you have to buy the camera, but Skype is for anybody you're trying to get online. Skype is free, Skype is private, and Skype is very easy to use with this huge benefit of being able to see your grandchild in their Halloween costume, or see your granddaughter show you her dorm room, or whatever that is. Skype is really a fantastic technology.
Easy to attach the camera?
Very easy. It's a plug-in. It's just a plug-in and off it goes.
And that's it. So, but then how do you get the Skype part? Do you have to play part of a program?
You have to go to Skype.com. It's SKYPE.com. You're going to download the program, which is actually easier than it sounds like. You're just going to press on a button that says download. It's going to bring it onto your computer. You're going to have to give them an email address and a password, so you are the only one to sign in. And then once you set up your account, you're able to connect with somebody else who's a member on Skype and be able to see them and talk to them.
So everybody has to be on Skype,
you
though,
have
to
be
be able
on
to
Skype.
use
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
All right. Create a ritual, you say.
Well, I think it's fantastic. I think what happens is we get so busy we forget, oh, I used to call my mom on Sundays, and now we forget what day Sunday is. So I have 3 different ideas for you to sort of set up during your week. If you did Tech Tuesday, we all have questions about the computer, so why not save them for Tuesday? That way we can all brace ourselves. So you're going to email your son or your granddaughter and ask her whatever your computer questions on Tuesday, so we know it's Tech Tuesday.
So when you know Tech Tuesday is coming up, make a list of your questions and get that ready on Tuesday, and then email whatever, or peruse online to find out what the answer is.
You could actually do Tech Tuesday, and you could come up with the idea on Google and send it to them as well to show them that you answered your own question.
Exactly.
Right.
All right. So you also have Website Wednesday.
Well, here's what's interesting. There are over 350 million websites online, and most of us only visit 10 or 20 in the course of our traveling online. We're not really taking advantage of having crossed the digital divide. We're sort of hanging out on the shoreline. So what if on Wednesdays everybody in the family shares a new website that they found that week? And that way you sort of expand your horizons and you share with them what might be of interest to you.
Sometimes I forget my websites, but isn't there a website history?
Yes, there is a website history, and it's a good idea when you find a good website to put it either into your favorites or your bookmarks, so you don't have to go track it down again. That's the best way to keep it.
I
No,
always do.
Really, you can have as many in there as you want. You can actually set up folder systems, so you can go back all the ones about news and all the ones about travel. So it's a really good idea.
And that's
to store
pretty
them.
easy to do?
That's very easy.
What do you have to do for that?
You basically, when you have the website open, it depends on which browser you're using, whether it's favorites or bookmarks, but you're going to click on the word favorites or bookmarks, and it's just going to say add to favorites or add to bookmarks.
And that's it?
That's it.
Oh, that's great. Fun. And then you have Fun Friday.
Well, on Fun Friday, here's my idea. On one Friday, you play an online game with somebody in your family of their choosing. The next Friday, you choose it. But more importantly, on the 3rd Friday, you go see each other and you play that game in a board game format. Angry Birds, which is this very famous application that
everybody loves playing.
Everybody loves it. It's now the #1 selling board game in the 3-dimensional world. So it doesn't mean that you can't have your 3-dimensional world enter into this sort of scenario of keeping in touch.
All right, last thing is go retro.
Well, go retro. I had this happen with my goddaughter. She came to visit me in Niantic. I have a little teeny cottage, and there's a drugstore with a carousel of postcards in it, and she looked at the postcards and said, "How retro." And I thought, did I know postcards were retro? She bought postcards, she sent them to her girlfriend, she loved it. So what I decided to do was I bought stationery with her name on it. And I addressed 3 envelopes to me, put stamps on them, and sent them to her and said, let's be pen pals. She didn't know what a pen pal was. So don't assume that what you grew up with is something they're rejecting. They may not know about it at all. She loves writing letters, and she loves actually receiving letters.
Them. Kids love that.
I know, and it's something they don't do at all between themselves, so have it be something that you do with them.
All right, you have some upcoming events. The first one is Demystifying the Computer. That's April 12th, 10 a.m. at Lucy Robbins Wells Library in Newington. Also, April 18th, 1 p.m. the Canton Public Library. Of course, you have more events on your website. What is that website?
If you go to abbyandme.com, the me is you, so it's abbyandme.com, and go to About Abby. All of my events are listed there, because I'm doing more other events in Connecticut later in the month.
Great. Again, the name of the book is This Thing On? Abby, thanks so much for coming back.
It was so nice to be here again.